So, when's our mutual third friend getting here? Khan says, turning to Horace. Mr. White will be here shortly. As you know, he has several things he will need to answer for. Yes, whose idea was it to let him be the neutral party to host us again? I believe we both agreed on that. So, what do you three do?
At this point, it's wait and watch for me.
Mm-hmm.
If there were any more posturing, their backs would snap.
Yeah, Claus is just looking at the exchange and just... Yeah, his face is just jumping between the two, like, ah!
Speaking of
like
looking, Dogi?
Yeah?
Could I get a perception check from everyone?
Okay. 16.
8!
29.
Yep.
What'd you get, Ash?
22.
Okay.
Unfortunately, none of you see anything.
Okay. Alright.
Alright. A sec.
So, I believe Jeremy has something he'd like to say.
Out of the shadows, off in the corner, a man wearing fine clothes and brandishing a silver rapier steps out from behind Coon and taps him over the shoulder with his sword. Dead, you really should pay more attention to your surroundings. He then turns to the rest of the group and tosses them several bags of coins you all recognize as belonging to yourselves.
Son of a...
Horace gives a little bit of a frown, while Khan seems to be holding back a laugh. Gentlemen, may I introduce to you one of our stealth experts, Mr. He goes by the name of Whisper. I thought he'd be able to assist.
Yes, well, I go by many names, some of them true. You, as he's mentioned, may call me Whisper. All you really need to know about me is what you've already seen with your own eyes. That I know where the pointy end goes, and that none see me coming unless I want them to. As for all of you, I have heard many things. However, I will judge with my own eyes whether or not any of it is true. He turns to Korim. Ah, you're the majestic Korim. Your exploits on the battlefield are already swiftly becoming legend, and despite your youth, I have even heard they call you Tempest. I assume the name is figurative?
Some could say that, but in all truth, it is much more literal.
Ah, interesting. I would like to see that. And then Claus the Meek. I have heard of your power as well. A tiefling healer. Ha! Sounds like a punchline to a bad joke. Rumor has it you don't kill. I have...
Real quick, the second Whisper starts to talk to Claus, Claus instantly runs behind Con.
There is one hell of a raised eyebrow from both kings to see a young golden lion hiding behind a red tiger.
And just a laugh from Korim.
And then continuing with his sentences, and I have heard some call you a coward. Well,
do not be too harsh. Jeremy?
Yeah.
Khan laughs at this point. Oh, do not be too harsh on the boy. At least he knows who the real warriors are. Horace gives barely represses a sidelong glare at his brother.
Whisper raises an eyebrow and just continues to grin. And then he turns to Coon. And of course we have the mighty Coon. There are those who say you're nothing more than a dog. And not flutteringly, I might say. They say that you follow orders blindly, kill without question, and are efficient at your work. I can tell just from looking at you that you are dangerous. But whether or not that's a good thing, well, I guess we'll have to see.
Now,
And
Josh,
then
Yeah.
your character has never met this man before, but you do know of him by reputation. A stealth expert, very good at his job, and from what you're learning right now, very talkative.
Kuhn moves up. It's like Kuhn looks down at Klaus, and then looks back, and then looks back at Whisper.
Whisper smiles.
He looks to Klaus and says, "I'll be right back." And he moves up to Whisper and gets very close into his face. Then he moves to the set, and then he moves to his clothing and just gives a big sniff. You try stealing again, I'll be able to smell you. And then he walks back. To Klaus.
Horace
Whisper
mutters,
smiles back at him.
Yeah, so you hear Horace comment, at the very least, my soldiers aren't fighting each other. And now it is
Whisper gives
Khan's
himself
turn to give a glare.
Whisper gives himself a sniff, and he's like, clearly I need to change shampoos. As for you, I would keep a shorter leash on yourself.
If the pleasantries are out of the way, Horace says, damn it! There are two reasons we brought you here. First of all, Mr. White is coming soon, and given your proximity to the events of the last few days, we felt that it would be important for you to conduct business with him. Help us conduct business with him. You will be able to verify several of his statements, and you are hands-on, and you are first-hand witnesses. The second, Counter speaking up, well, we actually would like to hear from you personally exactly what happened out there. Just, I know you've given your report, but just refresh our memories.
Vell,
While everyone gets comfortable. Whisper just off to the side.
So, Klaus can hear Vell kind of stewing in the back of his mind. I don't like that they brought someone along. Are we sure we can trust that this meeting is safe?
I wish that I could speak to Vell right now.
Well, if you want to, you can speak telepathic. You can communicate telepathically with Korim and the others.
Okay, well then I say that to all three, but definitely not to anyone else.
Yep.
Judging by the way that they said that, and the fact that we did not notice that one in the corner.
Whisper goes over and collects the tea off of the tray.
It's entirely possible that that one already knows about Vell and everything else.
It is possible, but I do not want to give any incentive. I'll stay here.
Is this conversation?
It's happening telepathically amongst the four.
Okay.
And I
just had to ask.
You can't see me either.
She's possessed.
I just had to ask.
Klaus. Yeah.
Klaus
As
went late.
ghosty.
Yeah, Klaus telepathically asked, do you want me to try and define his alignment? See if he's one of the good guys?
I don't know if that would comfort me at all. For we thought we could trust Mr. White, and then, well, his cohorts. I'd say wait a little bit. Perhaps we could actually discern Mr. White's alignment as well.
Roger that.
My greatest concern is whether, as I said, the way that they phrased that question was rather pointed.
If they want me, they will get me. But on my terms. I will protect you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Alright.
Is there and this time horror speaks up. Is there problems, everyone?
I was actually
Being
just about to start
remarkably
speaking, by the way.
Yeah, but this was like
Yes,
you
actually,
being telepathically
doesn't-
speaking to each other, so that took a few seconds. So there was a telepathic conversation, but to everyone else, it looked like you were just standing there in silence for a good few seconds.
Yeah, as I said, I was literally just opening my mouth as Korim to start relaying the events as he could recall from the moment of the initial meeting on the ship. Including Mr. White's offer.
I was going to ask if you brought that up.
Yeah.
And you're sure you did nothing, and you're sure you didn't oh. What a fool I am, Khan says. If you accepted, you obviously wouldn't be saying right now. Or maybe he would, because some of us speak with honor, Horace said. Tread carefully, brother. I am many things, but cheat is not one of them, nor am I a coward. So, tensions are getting a bit stronger. What do you do?
Continue with the tale, really.
Yeah.
Including Korim's own reactions to Mr. White's offer, which was, if memory serves, more along the lines of, I shall keep that in mind, but we shall see what the truth actually is.
Khan actually gives a small chuckle of that. Have you ever considered being a politician, sir?
Politics is not exactly my favorite hobby.
Interesting. You do seem to have a talent for it. Still, is that your full report? Horace says.
Getting buried up to my head by a freaking giant beetle, dealing with pirates and...
So, when you mentioned the beetle, Khan says with a barely suppressed snort, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, big giant chariot beetle. Decided that it was going to bury me up to my neck.
I haven't seen one of those in years. You are... I'm not sure if I could call you, whether or not to call you a fortunate young man, Mr. Tempest.
It was an irritation. Pretty much, it's written all over Korim's face and body language that beetle royally pissed him off, and if he could, he would thrash at it.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, however, there is another reason we have also brought you here. My brother and I, for once, have come to an agreement.
Miracles never cease.
Did you say that out? Did she say that out loud?
No. She's
Good.
She's giving running commentary in Klaus's head.
And Claus is
Good.
having a really hard time keeping his poker face. That's partially why he's hiding behind Con. He's like, help me.
I'm tempted to make. I am tempted to make you roll a will save to keep that poker face,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to.
Thank you.
Yeah. Since Kun is right next to Klaus and just touching it, it's like, can he feel Klaus's tension?
Yeah, probably. Oh, by the way, Josh.
Yep.
Make a perception check.
24.
Yep. You don't notice anything. What perception check? What was I talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
All right,
Matt.
I'm going to expend divination scent.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do again?
It allows me to detect approaching enemies, sniff out hidden foes, and track by sense of smell anyone within 30 feet.
Hey, you get a hint of your own scent on Whisper, on particularly in his pockets.
It's like Kun just almost robotically turns back to look at Whisper. Put
Whisper
it back.
Whisper fiddles his fingers at him and gestures to your right breast pocket.
He puts into his right breast pocket.
All right, you pull out 2 gold coins and a note that says, "Didn't see that coming, did you?"
Okay, Klaus slowly looks off that con. Do you want me to curse him?
Sorry, Horace takes.
No.
Sorry, Horace takes a sideways glance at Khan. So, when your people aren't busy pillaging my citizens, they're busy robbing each other. Is that the case?
Yeah, Kun looks at him. It's like, I hardly think childish antics are worth getting angry about.
What kind of...
There's background noise. I couldn't hear you, Josh.
I am not going to start a fight over a childish antic.
Yes. This is Khan speaking out. Yes, Whisper, cease stealing from our own people. That is an order. Oh, and by the way...
To be fair, I didn't steal from him. I gave it. He's now 2
Whisper?
gold coins richer than when he started this conversation. Yes, fine. He takes a sip of his tea. Ooh, needs more sugar.
I see your discipline.
That, Korim would look at him incredulously. You don't put sugar in tea!
He puts another cube... When you say that, he puts another cube in just to spite you.
If we may be focused on the matter, Horace says. Oh, and on the matter, if by the raids against your citizens, you're referring to the attacks that were mentioned in the report as the motivation of one archer, name them. I beg your pardon. You say there are red tigers who have attacked civilians. Name them and they will be punished. I'm waiting. Do you have names to give? Obviously, there's silence from everyone. Then cease the snide remarks unless you have something important to say. It looks like Chorus is something he would very much like to say, but he bites his tongue. What we were going to say before interruptions was that given the threat the pirates have been posing, it seems that we can no longer ignore them. Fortunately, it seems the three of you work surprisingly well together, and my brother and I have come to the conclusion that we want this union to continue. My brother and I cannot send as much of our forces as we would like to deal with the pirates, but you three, should you accept, could be our vanguards in this area. Fortunately, it seems that my brother is willing to cooperate for once. Yes. It's always good to show you how much your kind needs the Red Tigers. Speaking of which, that's why I brought Mr. Whisper along. I felt the team was a little bit uneven. I suppose that is a reasonable assessment. The second half, at least. Still, what say you three to that proposal?
Kuhn looks over at Whisper, looks him up and down, pats his breast pocket, and nods. I think this one would be a useful addition.
Khan smiles. See? People are seeing reason. At this point, a man walks into the room, presenting Mr. White, Guildmaster of the Black Hawks. The large double doors open. Mr. White walks in, and his appearance, I wager, was not at all what you were expecting. For one, he's limping. He is taking deep, heavy breaths. He's having to use the wall and even the guard next to him to brace himself as he slowly moves towards you. He's wearing the same neat, fanciful clothes he was wearing before, but his hair is matted with sweat and his face is pale and clammy. Afternoon, gentlemen. If you don't mind, I may need to take a seat. What do you all do?